What is going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. Today, we are going to be in the garage here with our Lexus and with our Coyote Mustang, and we are going to be getting both of these cars ready to do a showdown on a Dyno Jet dyno. So Far From Dead Motorsports here in Tuckerton, New Jersey is hosting a dyno day / car meet on June 8th, 2024. And we went ahead and reserved 2 spots at 6 p.m. for both the Lexus and the Mustang. These cars on paper are very similar. They both have 5-liter V8s, one being a Coyote, the other being the Lexus Toyota 2UR GSE. They both have similar modifications. They both have catback exhausts. They both have some sort of cold air intake or air induction system. And we're going to go ahead. We're just going to prep them. And we're going to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape for these dyno runs. And we're also going to make sure that everything is equal between the two cars because we want this to be as fair of a comparison as possible. Now, I'm going to be putting up this video either Monday or Tuesday this week. The dyno day is on Saturday. If you guys want to come check it out, again, Far From Dead Motorsports, come join us, see these two cars hit the hit the rollers. I think it'd be pretty interesting to see. Now, believe it or not, the engine in this Lexus, design-wise, is actually about 4 years older than the engine in this Mustang. The 2UR GSE came out in the 2007 ISF. That is the year it debuted. Whereas the Coyote debuted in the Mustang for 2011. Now this is still a Gen 1 Coyote because this is a 13. The Gen 2 didn't come out until 15. And it saw a slight bump in compression and a couple of other tweaks to bump it up from 412 to 420 or is 435 horsepower for the Gen 2, whereas the 2UR in the ISF made around 412 horsepower. This is the second iteration of the 2UR GSE and makes 467. Again, that is at the crank, and it also got a bump in compression. So, we're looking at a Gen 1 Mustang versus what I would call a Gen 2 2UR. But the Coyote is the newer engine of the bunch as far as architecture and basic design. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know how well we take care of our cars, I'm going to fill you in on that. We take extremely good care of our cars. Both of these cars just had their cooling system service. They both have fresh synthetic oil in them, and the oil level on both of the cars is literally perfect. You'll see just how clean the oil is. So that's the first thing that you're going to want to check if you're going to put your car on a dyno. Go ahead, pull your dipstick, check your oil, check your coolant, make sure coolant's nice and full, nice and clean. You'll see our coolant is right where it needs to be on this Mustang. And then here in the Lexus, we have our pink Toyota coolant. Like I said, we serviced both of these cars. Both of the cooling systems are filled. And here in the Lexus, you will also see that it is filled with oil. So we are good to go as far as the engines are concerned. If your car has a transmission dipstick, unfortunately, neither one of these cars do. Just pull it out, check your transmission fluid, make sure it's at the correct level. Again, when you run a car on a dyno, you're kind of stressing the components a little bit. You're doing a wide open throttle pull in whatever your 1-to-1 gear ratio is. So just make sure transmission's good, engine oil's good. Check your differential fluids if you haven't. We have in both of these cars, and you won't have any problems. Now the Lexus has a brand new high flow, I believe it's an AFE dry air filter. I know the air filter is good. I put it in when I did this RR racing intake about maybe 5,000-6,000 miles ago, but admittedly up until just 10 minutes ago I've never actually opened the airbox on the Mustang, and when we opened it I was pretty excited to see that this also has an AFE intake. I'll bet the filter's a little bit dirty, so we're gonna take this outside and we're gonna blow it out and clean it up, because like I said, We want this comparison to be as equal and fair as possible for both cars. All right, guys, and here is our filter after giving it a nice, good cleaning. So now both of these cars will have nice, clean air filters going into the dyno cell. Now, the second thing I want to touch base on here is fuel. Just to make this fair, a fair comparison, because that's what I want to do here. Both of these cars run on 93 octane fuel, and we both get gas from Costco in both of these cars. So both of the cars will have the same exact fuel in the tank, so there will be no advantage as far as more ignition timing or more octane in the fuel. They are both on the stock tune from the factory, and they're both going to be running with 93 octane pump gas. There's not going to be any octane additives, nothing special. It's going to be like they just rolled off the factory floor, minus the intakes and catback exhausts. Now, the Mustang did just have a complete tune-up. We upgraded to some NGK spark plugs, and we did do all 8 ignition coils. This car does have about 60,000 miles on it. The Lexus only has 38,000 miles on it now, and these spark plugs are not due until 90. And it's got no check engine light, no misfires, so the ignition system and everything on this car is good to go as well. We're not going to have any problems, and they're both going to be running to their full potential. Now, like I said earlier, both of these cars were just serviced, and when I did service them, I checked the brakes, I checked the suspension. Both of these cars actually have new suspension. We have RR racing coilovers on the Lexus and Silver's racing coilovers on the Mustang, so I know the brakes, the suspension, everything on these cars is good to go. If you're bringing your car to the dyno and you don't know what kind of condition everything else is in, you're definitely going to want to do a safety inspection. You know, check the brakes, check the suspension components, check your bushings, check your drive shafts, because you don't want a failure on the dyno if you can avoid it, because the dyno cell needs to be clean, it needs to be oil free. And if you have a component let go on the dyno, you could be on the hook for the cleanup fee from the shop, and if you can avoid it, you definitely want to. So give your cars a once over, check everything, make sure you're not going to have any major component failure. If you see something leaking, fix it and address it. If something is loose, like a tie rod or a ball joint, fix it before you go on the dyno. That way you know you're not going to have any problems. Another important thing to think about is what's going to be contacting the rollers, your tires. You're going to want to make sure your tires are in good condition. Make sure they are at the factory recommended tire pressure. And just like I said, it's part of the safety check. Give everything a once over. Make sure everything's going to be good to go. So with that being said, both our Lexus and our Mustang here are dyno day ready. Stay tuned. June 8th, 6 p.m. Our cars will be there. They will hit the rollers back to back. And let's see what's going to make some more power. We're either going to have the Japanese muscle 5-liter 2UR GSE V8. Now this does have an advantage because it is port and direct injected and it has a little bit more compression. Or is the tried and true American muscle, the Ford Coyote. This is a Gen 1 Coyote. Let's see what's going to make more power. Let me know in the comments down below who you think is going to win this power showdown, whether it be the Lexus or the Coyote. We're excited for this to happen. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications if you haven't already, so you see when the video drops for the dyno day. I think it's going to be really fun. So we'll see you guys next time.